Hello and welcome to Aniview Reviews. Today we're talking about School Days. So School Days is made by TNK in 2007, 12 episodes long, and it's a drama harem romance series.
Alright, so meet Makoto, a young Japanese schoolboy on the train ride to school. He spots a girl named Kotonoha, and quickly gets a crush on her. His friend Sekai discovers his secret crush, and helps him to practice and get closer to Kotonoha. When it starts working out though, she becomes jealous, and a whole world of drama ensues.
Alright, so overall, School Days is not that much different from your typical drama harem romance for the first half of the series. For the second half, it sort of goes a different route than most, and it's quite special on its own sort of rights for that.
Okay, we're gonna go through so much wink-winking, nudging over the series, because School Days, it's honestly, it's a disturbing take on the romance drama sort of series. I mean, you've got your basic high school romance plot, and there's jealous emotions during throughout until the ending. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
When it comes to animation, for the most part, it's fairly average at best. The characters lack any real effort, and the backgrounds are quite blah as well. All in all, there really isn't anything here that you haven't seen anywhere else. It's just your typical high school setting with your typical high school looking characters.
Yeah, in the sound department, it's completely uninteresting as well. None of the music really stands out. The OP and ending are blah at best. And although there is a bit of a darker undertone, so you kind of see that something else is going on, that's not really what I'd consider innovation. It's just your basic background music.
Okay, so coming to the story now. It's interesting, wink wink, nudge nudge, to say the least. It's almost like two completely different series at the same time. It begins just like every other harem series. You have Makoto, your main, male, perverted character, surrounded by a handful of stereotypical females, and for the first 5 episodes or so, the innovation in School Days is fairly non-existent.
Yeah, I mean, it starts off with your completely typical romance plot. I mean, we're not kidding here. There isn't anything innovative in this beginning portion. There's boy likes girl, but then he also starts to like his upbeat friend that's with him, and she starts to get jealous of the relationship developing. And I mean, what else do you need for a love triangle? P.S. There's nothing else you need for a love triangle.
So after that, though, the series gradually changes from your typical happy high school harem to a very dark and desolate drama that I would say would put a lot of soap operas to shame.
Yeah, I mean, the series really quickly turns to the bit of the darker side in the middle episodes. You know something is up really quickly, and as it goes on, you notice that there's a lot of sex going on, a lot of cheating on different girlfriends, and it quickly becomes the name of the game once the later half of the series really gets into it. I mean, you've got panty shots in your average anime, but this is on a whole nother level. This is like 5 or 6 different girls he's having sex with in a single episode. I mean, it's really different than your average romance plot.
So now, while all the sort of cheating and backstabbing and lying sounds terrible, in my opinion, it actually makes the series better. Because everything before this was just your, as we said, typical anime that's produced, 5 per season that everybody has seen before and doesn't really give a care about unless you live in Japan. So, but this time they actually changed it and made it somewhat unique. It makes it stand out. The thing is, even though it is very different, it doesn't necessarily mean that it became good. Despite becoming this sort of roller coaster of demise, I never found myself drawn into any aspect of the story. It was always on a very surface level. I couldn't get into anything.
Yeah, when you actually really look into it, there is very little substance beyond just the basic relationships and the sex in this series. So while it's different, just because it's different doesn't mean it's good. That's exactly what Leon's trying to say here, and I completely agree. I mean, jealous hissy fits here and there don't make a fantastic story. This is no different than your average soap opera or whatnot with a little bit of an anime twist to it.
Okay, so coming to the ending now, and this deserves a sort of whole talk on its own. It's very over the top, and we're not doing any spoilers here, it's very over the top, and it definitely wraps up the main love triangle.
Yeah, I mean, everything is definitely wrapped up by the end, and I don't think they could make a second season of this very successfully. And so, it's very interesting. You watch it, I was definitely shocked, and I wanted to give this series an actually really high mark after I'd seen the ending, because I was just so shocked and bewildered by how ridiculous it was. However, after you think about it, if you do think of the series as a whole, you can really realize that the series did not put enough effort to really deserve a high mark that you could give it if you were looking at the shock value for that final few scenes.
Yeah, well, it is very sort of intriguing in the way they did it, or the way they produced this ending. And I would say for the most people, it's definitely worth a watch if you can sit through the crap and get to this sort of, downward spiral of demise and like that kind of thing. It's definitely worth the check out because it's definitely something that doesn't happen in a lot of anime, and it's really interesting and just sort of crazy in a sense. And I thought I really actually did enjoy it on some sort of level.
Alright, so we're going to go on to the character section. And so there's really only 3 distinctly main characters in this series that we've already mentioned many times. So we're going to start with Makoto, who goes from innocent, if a little bit perverted haremly, to raging sex machine later in the series. It's a very odd character development, if it can be called that, and overall his character isn't even that interesting. So, I mean, that's about all you're going to get from him.
Yeah, Makoto sort of becomes the ideal guy that all women love to hate. The sort of stuff that he does to the girls in this series would make a girl who's watching this show want to jump into the anime and beat this kid senseless, because he sort of embodies this terrible male stereotype by the end of the series.
Yeah, and then you have Kotonoha, who is the main girl that Makoto likes throughout the series. And she's basically just your innocent housewife, sweet, pretty, tall girl. And they really do very little with her to make her anything really very interesting. She's just a good-looking girl that he starts falling in love with, and she's so sweet and innocent, and that's what all you really get out of her.
Yeah, they don't really do too much with Kotonoha in the beginning of the series. She kind of has this very sheltered, reserved personality early on, which I did find interesting because in her sort of revelation, and when it's all said and done, and she is a key factor in this sort of ending that we're kind of pushing, the crazy ending, is that she goes from sweet and innocent reserve to completely psychotic, I've lost my mind sort of character. So the flip side of that is what really intrigued me about her, and I thought she was an okay character, probably the better of the 3 of the main characters by the end.
Yeah, and then we have Sekai. So Sekai is his best friend type character throughout the series, and she's really energetic and I guess a bit desperate because what she decides to do is help him practice for his secret crush on Kotonoha. And now, it's obvious right from the get-go that she has a sort of love-like interest in him. And yet she goes this route to sort of propagate that. And so it's a little bit weird the way they go about doing it. And later on in the series, when there's this crazy, shocking turn of events, she develops a love rivalry when he actually does manage to succeed in getting Kotonoha as a girlfriend.
Yeah, so Sekai, I never really cared about as a character. She was kind of very whiny throughout the whole entire thing, and I don't think she was all that strong. She was just sort of kind of the in-between. She was always after Makoto, and I never really thought she was a strong character.
Mm-hmm. And then, when you get to the side cast, really no one else mattered too much. I mean, the main characters don't have much depth, and I mean, the side characters, they're half a dimension, if they can even be called that. I mean, there's really nothing beyond your generic fodder, basic stock characters thrown around in there. You have your sort of guy classmates that are perverted, then you have girls that he has sex with, and that's about it. I mean, there's nothing else beyond that.
Yeah, the only purpose of the side cast is to fuel the endless drama of the second half. And for that, I'm actually going to give them a point. But on all other aspects, they're just plain terrible. They have no depth, and you don't even need to care about them whatsoever.
Alright, so what are you going to give School Days?
Okay, I'm going to give School Days 2.5 out of 5 stars. Now, I originally had this score a lot lower, but in terms of the sort of enlightenment I've had, the ending is much different, so I'm going to give it a couple more points for that. But still, if you're not interested in seeing this sort of downward spiral of anime characters, as I keep calling it, don't even watch this show. There is nothing here. It's a pretty poor romantic harem. The only thing that makes it interesting is the sort of violent, crazy ending that this anime puts out there. So, really, it's not worth your time unless you're looking for something like that.
Yeah, I completely agree. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars, and I originally had it higher, though. Because for me, when I saw that ending, I was really genuinely surprised and shocked and thought it was really innovative and crazy. But when you do take a look at the series as a whole, you do realize that it really didn't break out of the box much in its original execution and only just tries to do this crazy ending. And even that isn't the most crazy or intense I've ever seen. So, for me, this series is just a little bit above mediocre.
So, if you have any questions, comments, or requests, you can send them to aniview@hotmail.com, or you can drop us a line on our YouTube page.
You can also contact us on our forums at aniviewreviews.com.
So thanks for listening.
And we'll see you next time.